Major breaking news to start your Saturday afternoon as no deal. No deal in the second stimulus check or the second stimulus package, but not so much about the second stimulus check amount, but rather another deal provision. It's derailing the second stimulus negotiations and may be the line in the sand. It may be the go home and no deal provision. Shocking, as Thursday and Friday and Saturday, social media was blowing up about the second stimulus check, saying, you know what the hell is the $600? What is that proposal, $600? Even the proposal of $1,200 is not sufficient. We'll take $1,200 to get us to January. But what about those multiple stimulus checks for Joe Biden? We're still waiting to hear the details of them. Today, Joe Biden announced some more cabinet members, gave you no details about the second stimulus checks, gave you no details about the hashtags MSC, gave you no more details about the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI, gave you no more details about what are all those big things like hazard pay coming in January. All we hear about is cabinet members, and the battle on the ground today is also about Joe Biden and giving money for Joe Biden to run stuff in January. It seems as though when your money's on the line, they fold like lawn chairs. But when their money is on the line, they stand upright like holiday decor. It's all very exciting and a little bit problematic, but we're all here together. We're going to get through this together. And I have big news about states paying big money to viewers of this channel. Let's get rolling. Let's get rocking. This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons LALATE on a Saturday afternoon, which would normally be easy breezy, but it's very heated in Congress as they absolutely cannot get a deal done. I'll have those details, but in this video, I'm also going to be turning to your states that are paying big money. I want you to get this money, so please subscribe. We're approaching 350,000 subscribers on our 8th month anniversary, which ironically will fall on Christmas Eve. We started this channel on April 25th, so please subscribe. Along this way, I've helped so many people, and I want to help you too. I want to ensure that you get money for food, for utilities, for gifts, for children. I get DMs all the time saying, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to have a holiday season because I have no money for gifts. I said, how old are the kids? 14? We have volunteers that can help you find those gifts for the volunteers. I have no money for rent. How far back are you on rent? We can help you with that. That's the spirit of this channel. Viewers, massive success stories last night on Purple Power Live if you didn't tune in. I want to ensure that you don't miss a recording. I'm going live. I'm going taped. I'm bringing back old recordings as well, as apparently you enjoyed one midday today that help you on UI and PUA and EIDL. So I want you to ensure that you don't miss a recording. Also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over what the latest update is on your second stimulus check and second stimulus package, why Congress is now calling a line in the sand very defined, not because of you, but because of them. Sound familiar? It does sound familiar. Meantime, I'll be going over what's really going on, what are the potential deal provisions at hand, what are the proposals, what you should see today and what you should see tomorrow, and will there be another extension tomorrow? Meantime, I'll be turning back to the states, and then I'll go back to Congress and cover Joe Biden, those MSCs, those multiple stimulus checks, the $2,400 if you're on SSDI and Social Security and Railroad benefits, and more. And with that, I'm so glad you joined me. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that there is still no deal. You see me start every recording in the last 3 days, no deal. Well, today is really no deal. And it's not because there's no deal about your stimulus check amount. That's a big deal, no deal. This time they actually have a big deal, no deal. And it's not you, it's them. Sound familiar? This time there is a representative who has written a provision into the proposals that would delineate that the Treasury under the Biden administration cannot use money so freely between it and the Federal Reserve like it did under the Trump administration. The language is so problematic that Republicans have been briefed on their caucus about the language, Democrats have been briefed about the language, and they have come out loud and clear. Democrats will not support the bill if the language is in it, and Republicans will not support the bill unless the language is in it. That's the battleground today. In fact, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer agree upon something. They're so close, but this language could kill the deal, and ultimately people need to decide whether it's time to kill the deal or not. Earlier today on Holidays LALATE, I asked viewers, is it time to kill the deal? And 9 out of 10 viewers said it's time to kill the deal. They have done nothing for the American people, and now when it's their money on the line again, they're ready to go to the mat. We're ready to fold up the chairs? No. They're ready to fold up the chairs when it's our money. Where are the proposals for our money? First, the $600 for FPUC could potentially, $600 for stimulus check could potentially happen. Why is this rolling out? Here is where we are today. The stimulus check amounts are not being debriefed to the public, is not being debriefed to congressional leaders. In fact, they know is actually less than you and I know. I've been following the news reports, and ultimately they're saying, we don't know anything until we read the news. Where are we then? Stimulus check amounts, there's a proposal $600. There's a proposal $700. There's a proposal of $1,200. Second, FPUC, retroactive? Absolutely not. Going forward, yes. $300 a week. Are they trying to screw you out of the remainder of FPUC retroactive? It appears they are. Viewers believe they are. They would likely never pay you a penny for 30 weeks of FPUC retroactive. Is that insane? Yes, it's insane. Eviction moratorium, is that in there? Hard to really say. It looks 50-50 at this point. We've heard talk about it, but we've heard very little talk about it. Mortgage forbearance, 50-50 on that. And anything else? Student loan debt repayment moratorium, no words about that at all. The only thing that we do know is in there is PUA and UI continuing to April. Now, in this case of some states have stepped up and said, you know what, we're giving you additional weeks. And what I've been advising viewers around the clock, day and night, day and morning, is that other states will do the same. No state is going to sit around and have their citizens roll off a PUA or UI and not have benefits on January 1. It's inhumane, and states have this ability. They have the ability on the Constitution to do it. Illinois, Hawaii, New Jersey, New York are among the states that have stepped up, and more expected to step up as well, as Congress is really not getting this together. So what will happen with this congressional bill in the congressional negotiations in the next 48 hours? It's really hard to tell, but they have a deadline of Sunday. And by all accounts, by their own accounts, they're not going to get it done by Sunday. At that point, will there be an extension? It looks like they may not do an extension and just do the federal budget bill, which is $1.3 trillion, and not do the stimulus package, which is $900 billion, and call it a day and go home and take care of it in January. Ironically, that's what 9 out of 10 viewers of this channel on Holidays LA said as well. They rather wait till wait after January 5th, when the impact of this on the 2 Georgia Senate seats will be revealed. They rather wait to January 20th, when Joe Biden gets ready to come into office, because at that point, you'll have FPUC retroactive, and you'll have FPUC more than $300. He actually said in his own words, $600. He's also promising you multiple stimulus checks, and not $300 stimulus checks or $600 stimulus checks. He's promising you multiple stimulus checks. The question is, how quickly and how soon? That's really one of the big issues that no one in this Congress has really addressed, and I talk about it on a regular basis with you as well. When we talk about FPUC, when we talk about PUA and UI, none of those relief that Congress is proposing in this current package would get in your hands anytime before December 31st. In some cases, may not get into your hands for 2 months. So why should you not wait 4 more weeks to get it right? Why should you give up 30 weeks of FPUC now instead of waiting 4 weeks to get it right? Why should you give up a decent stimulus check now instead of getting it right then? Ultimately, eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are big issues for states where there is none. Many states do have that protection, like Delaware. California has a version of it as well. But states who do not have eviction moratorium, big problem. It really is a big problem. So will you see a stimulus check before the holidays, and what will be the amount? Hard to say. As AOC started the day with a comment in Politico, she said this is despicable. There's 4 people in a private, that was her exact words, despicable. There's 4 people in a private room secretly negotiating the deal provisions. We don't see the deal provisions. We hear them randomly, like you heard with this provision about the Federal Reserve. That was all that they were briefed about. How about everything else? She said, the way they do this to us is they walk out of a room, they say, here's a 1,200-page bill, go read it. You have 15 minutes and we're voting in 15 minutes. What? I read Josh Hawley's bill a week ago, 12 pages. I had problems reading it. I read this stuff on a regular basis. I had problems reading it. It was some of those wordings is just badly written. And so it's too hard to figure out things too quickly. There you go. So will you get the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI and Social Security railroad benefits? Yes. Joe Biden's promising you that promise. He's saying that starting when he comes in January, you'll get $200 a month starting in January all the way up to December on top of your existing monthly benefits. You don't have to do anything for it. Then you'll get two other things. You'll get a step up lifetime that'll raise your benefits up to 20%. So if you're making $1,000, you get $1,200 instead. Then he'll give you a new benchmark different than COLA that'll raise your benefits annually as cost of living adjustments are incurred. So, example, if your eggs and milk cost more next year, you will see a step up in your benefits assessed one time per year. This is all really good news. Then multiple stimulus checks, yes. Multiple stimulus checks are being promised by Joe Biden. That would be a stimulus check every month until this pandemic's over, which is looking like it's going to go a little bit longer than initially thought. The rollout of the vaccine, many thought that was going to be finished by around April. Now there's concern that it may not get rolled out until June. At that account, then 2 months after the pandemic is almost the fall of next year. So these are where the multiple stimulus checks are owed, and these are where the multiple checks will be delivered, says Joe Biden. All the other things like hazard pay, EIDL, I'll cover them in the video after this. But the important thing to understand is that states, not the federal government, states have been doing a really good job for you during this pandemic. And I know there's always someone that says, my state doesn't help. Well, here's an example. One viewer in one of the live chats today said, my state of Michigan does nothing for me. Last night, they did something. The state of Michigan passed last night an overwhelmingly enormous stimulus relief package. It's including grants and free rent and free stimulus and just over and over and items after items. It's just shocking how when a state comes together and gets it done, it is so good. The stimulus relief was so overwhelming that when I read it, I was in sort of disbelief. It was announced just last night by Governor Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan that $465 million will be dedicated for this package. It's an enormous sum. $465 million. It's just incredible. It says that people will get up to $20,000 if they had to close their business, $15,000 if they had to partially close their business. That said, workers will get $1,650 of a stimulus check. It also includes $45 million additional for people who have their hours worked. It just goes on and on and on and on. $51 million for vaccine distribution. And this is on top of what states are doing for other things. First, states are doing extended weeks of unemployment benefits. That's the first one. Second, states are doing these enormous stimulus packages that are so robust that you have to go through each of the deal provisions. Third, states are doing rent stimulus. I had told you New York's rent stimulus package was going live. It's now live. Rent stimulus is where the state gives you free rent because you can't afford the rent. It was live in San Diego County. It's now used up. It is live in Nashville, or is believed to still be live in Nashville, Harrisburg, PA, City of Atlanta, County of Gwinnett, County of DeKalb, and then New York, New Jersey. More and more states are doing this rent stimulus. It's free rent. It's not $100. It's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 that viewers of the channel get. Whether it's Tyrone in Massachusetts, it got $15,000. Other viewers who got $20,000, another one got $15,000. Or viewers who drop into Purple Power Live every night. Last night I had success story after success story, and several of them were getting the money from the city and state, and they were in the thousands of dollars. This is the testament of where this money really is. The next one is utility assistance. That is in the case of the utility companies giving you free utilities for either heating oil, rent, electric, water, or gas, or things like that. You call up your utility company and say, hey, do you have any utility assistance because of COVID? Use those simple words. Do you have any utility assistance because of COVID? You also call up your county, city, and state housing authority and say, do you have any rent assistance because of COVID? Remember, that's your city hall, your county hall, your county housing authority, state housing authority, and see if they have any rent assistance. They paid it for viewers in Alabama and Louisiana. They paid it in Kentucky for other viewers. They continue to pay it across other states as well. Finally, if you go through all those things and you still can't find it, guess what? They're private organizations, nonprofits, that are paying rent and utilities across countless states. I can't keep on track of how many states they're paid in. In fact, to this day, I have not found an indication of where they don't pay the rent, don't provide assistance. In some cases, I have cities where people are getting assistance from several different organizations. For example, last night on Purple Power Live, I talked about the city of St. Louis. And the city of St. Louis, or the county of St. Louis has a rent assistance program from the county. Well, I also told you that rent for utility assistance, just call it the utility assistance companies in St. Louis. Well, they provide utility assistance, but the viewers at Purple Power Live last night, boy, one said they got utility assistance from St. Anne's. Another said they got utility assistance from another nonprofit. Another one said they got utility assistance from another organization, Natural Bridge Road. More and more viewers were showing that they got assistance from 4 or 5 different locations. That's a testament to this channel. On Purple, right after this video, I will go over more about those details. Why, for example, in Mississippi, no less than 4 organizations are paying for utilities in Mississippi. Why in Rhode Island, no less than 2 organizations, one which is state-based, is paying for rent in Mississippi. And I'll show you why organizations like United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul are paying rent across the country, and including Community Action. Want those names again? Get out pen and paper. Let's go. If you're looking for rent and you have tried your city and county and state, can't find it, you're pretty sure it doesn't exist, then reach out to these national nonprofits that are paying in a lot of jurisdictions. They're Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, Community Action, United Way, and Salvation Army. It's that simple. Viewers understand that $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 of stimulus from either the city, the county, the utility company, or a nonprofit is a hell of a lot more than a $600 stimulus check. And ultimately, I'm always surprised when someone sends me a DM and says, I'm so depressed about this $600 stimulus check, I can't make rent. And I say, why aren't you using the rent stimulus of this channel? The who? The rent stimulus. Have you been watching the videos through? And then then the light bulb hits. Please don't sit back waiting for a $600 stimulus check from the federal government. You can get $6,000 from your local jurisdiction. Why would you do that? Do not sit back also if you called one person on the phone, they say, we don't have that. Don't hang up the phone and say, oh, I'm done, because there's 20, 30, 40 different other options. St. Louis's example. 4 different organizations paid 4 different utility bills for viewers of this channel. It shows you the magnitude of the assistance out there, just not from Congress. Stay with me for Purple coming up right after this recording. I have big developments on what's unfolding across the country for your second stimulus. Meantime, after that, I go live back on Being in the Mitch. What's important to understand is that the narrative is not done for the second stimulus package. The battle is not done. Hashtag Senate vote no. Hashtag House vote no. Hashtag House Trump vote no. It's important to understand that elected officials need to be told that a $600 stimulus check is a joke, and that they're a joke if they think that anyone is going to support them. Moreover, if they want to keep those 2 Georgia Senate seats, whichever political party they're from, they're going to lose them if they pat themselves on the back and say, I did such a good job of a $600 stimulus check. No, you did a horrible job. And not giving us FPUC retroactive, atrocious. Just not sufficient. There's a reason why stimulus checks and stimulus check were trending on Twitter for 3 days in a row, and Ron Johnson. They're unhappy with how Congress is treating the situation. Senate vote no, the hashtag of this channel, trended online the night before. Do it again. Do it again, get Senate vote no, House vote no, and Trump vote no to get no's out of the Senate. Because ultimately, if they do reach a deal, which they may not, but if they do reach a deal and put it to the House for a vote, tell the House to vote no. And if the House does vote yes and it goes to the Senate, tell the Senate to vote no. And if the Senate votes yes, tell the President to veto it. With that, join me next on Purple. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay up LA for more.